May you find your worth in the waking world, good hunter.
I ain't never put my jewels on.
Today we're talking about Bloodborne. I am a huge fan, okay? This was my introduction to the Dark Souls series. So this game holds a very, very special place in my heart. I get really excited when I hear anything Bloodborne related. So apparently, Sony just asked the 60 FPS Bloodborne mod with a DMCA takedown. Popular Bloodborne frame rate mod is no longer available thanks to a DMCA takedown request from Sony. Australia-based Twitch streamer Lance McDonald first developed the mod back in 2020 before making it available to download in 2021. Lance announced today in a post on X that Sony Interactive Entertainment asked him to remove download links for the patch. The hack's sole purpose was to get Bloodborne running at a smoother 60 FPS with improved frame pacing. From Software originally released Bloodborne back in 2015 for the PlayStation 4, and the game has always been locked at 30 FPS with occasional stuttering from inconsistent pacing. The 30 frames within each second were not always on screen for equal amounts of time. The beloved game's graphical limitations have persisted even on the PS4 Pro and while playing it via backwards compatibility on PlayStation 5. And here's Lance's tweet that says, on February 21st, 2021, I created and released a patch for Bloodborne, which makes the game run at 60 FPS. Today, I received a DMCA takedown notification on behalf of Sony Entertainment, asking that I remove links to the patch I posted on the internet. So I've now done so. Lance's mod has received its share of testing and praise from the Soulsborne community that covets from Software's games but wish their technical and graphical chops were more cutting edge. This includes being spotlighted by creators like Digital Foundry, who interviewed McDonald about his hack back in 2020, used his mod to make a 4K 60 FPS representation on PS5 using AI upscaling, and recently published a Bloodborne PS4 emulation video that really juices up the performance as has an extremely spicy video thumbnail aimed squarely at Sony. All right, so we're actually going to check this video out and see what they're talking about because I think this is good to know.
Visibly adds more thorough Bloodborne is among the most cherished games of its generation, and today it's a surprise to find it's now very playable on PC via emulation, at last fixing several limits in the original PlayStation 4 code. This is a big deal for a few reasons, because a decade on from its PS4 release, Bloodborne is distinctive for having never received any form of remaster, port, or even a PS4.
Can we just talk about how I think that I really hope that From Software is just kind of like, okay, everyone is releasing like these re-releases, remasters for anniversaries that are coming up. For example, The Sims just released The Sims 1 and 2 for their 25th birthday. We know that we are getting possibly an update on the Jet Set Radio new game that's coming up. It's been 10 years since Bloodborne came out pretty much this year. So hopefully they'll follow that path, and maybe the reason for the takedowns for these mods and whatnot is that they plan on remaking or remastering Bloodborne. That would be epic because I feel like we've been begging. We've been begging for a long time for that. And maybe they'll listen to us. Maybe they'll actually give us what we want.
PS5 patch update. As a result, in playing the game on PS5 hardware via backcompat, we're very much locked to its original PS4 settings. We keep the same 30 frames per second cap, complete with uneven frame pacing, while image quality suffers in the upscale to 4K displays by rendering at a native 1080p resolution with obvious aliasing in view. Truly, the game would benefit from even a minor update on modern systems, even to tweak its resolution and frame rate, but so far nothing is forthcoming. Thanks to recent advances in PlayStation 4 emulation though, via the SHAD PS4 emulator on PC shown here, there's a promising DIY solution in the frame today.
That's so cool.
As you can see, SHAD PS4's latest builds have gone from strength to strength, and as of version 0.51, the game is almost entirely playable crash-free start to end. Also, at last, 60 frames per second is now viable, while this emulation approach also opens the gates to other enhancements via reshade mods, texture boosts,
it looks
improved lighting,
really
and much
good.
more. In particular, the Bloodborne Remaster Project mod by author from SoftServe adds a great many enhancements all in one tidy package. So then, just how is Bloodborne's emulation shaping up today as a means to hit 60 FPS? Some rough edges are a given, seeing that it's still work in progress, but what's the outlook so far? And, as a bonus, how far-reaching are the visual enhancements? Let's find out.
And this game is already like so beautiful, so if they just enhance the graphics,
Before we get
like
into it, let's take a quick look at the setup. Shad PS4 version 0.51 is in use here via a custom branch from developer Raphael the Great and put together by Diego Lix29. I experimented with multiple different builds to find one that ran in a stable fashion, and ultimately this one works best for my R7 5700X machine paired with an RTX 4080. The only tweak I'd regard as crucial is this mod, the Vertex Explosion Fix. Installing this sadly disables customization to your character's face in the creation tool at the start, which is...
Let me tell you something, right? Character customization in Bloodborne is literally the last thing that anyone cares about. Honestly, truly, because all you're gonna do is put on whatever gear helps it so you don't die as fast. So I think that's a pretty fair trade-off, you know?
is right now a cause for visual bugs without the mod in place.
Okay, see, that's nuts. That's crazy. That would make me mad.
Otherwise, you'll often see these huge bursts of geometry spilling from your character's face without this fix. Beyond that though, everything you might need is included in the emulator itself. The essential bit being this patch menu, which allows 60 FPS gameplay to be toggled on, plus 60 FPS cloth physics, and even res boosts at increments going up to 4K.
This is
It
so
also
cool.
gives us a means to remove chromatic aberration post-processing, which was fairly heavy-handed on the PS4 release, and perhaps not to everyone's taste. For the purposes of testing then, I removed that effect, and settled for 1152p for a small resolution boost with 60 FPS in place.
Now, let me tell you something. Bloodborne definitely deserves to be on
Let's hit the
PC.
nail on the head to start with frame rate testing. Achieving 60 FPS
Officially,
is a dream come true for Bloodborne fans, and I'm glad to say that emulation is making serious headway in turning that into a reality. The 30 FPS cap with uneven frame pacing is a famous or even infamous bugbear on its native PS4 release, and if an official remaster were ever to appear, 60 FPS is easily top of the feature wish list. In
Yeah.
practice then, the Shad PS4 emulator goes to great lengths in keeping 60 locked down, especially on this latest build. The key stress point is this central Yharnam town square with multiple enemies, and for great portions of play here, it does hit the mark. Between my system's RTX 4080 and R7 5700X, it's more often the latter part, the CPU, that's the bottleneck it seems, the result being these sporadic lurches down to the mid-40s. These drops tend to kick in during rapid world traversal or on first striking an enemy, though often restores to 60 FPS a few seconds later.
Either way, if you guys want to watch this full video, I'm actually going to link it down below if you want to check it out. But either way, that's still crazy. It looks so good. It runs really well. Like, what the heck? Says for years, the most rabid of Bloodborne fans have been quick to jump at any Bloodborne related news as a potential clue to an upcoming long-awaited remake. And in this case, it only takes a short scroll of McDonald's replies on his post to see people speculating that this takedown means Sony must be nearing some kind of announcement in time for the 10-year anniversary of Bloodborne's release. Case in point. Here we have another article talking about the same thing. Bloodborne 60 FPS mod hit with DMCA takedown 4 years after it was released, and fans are already huffing the copium that Sony's about to announce an official remaster. That would be epic. Assuming the DMCA notice is legitimate, there's no shortage of trolls out there looking to abuse online takedown systems. The timing is quite odd considering the fact that the 60 FPS mod has been out for nearly 4 years, which is insane because I feel like when this came out, they for sure knew about it, you know? Why wait 4 years? I feel like the only plausible reason is that there is going to be a remaster coming out this year, hopefully. I mean, what better way to celebrate, 10 years? Just drop the remaster, the remake. Just drop it already. Let us know. When are you gonna tell us? Give me the exclusive, please. All right. It has gained increased notability in recent months thanks to the development in PS4 emulation and other mods that effectively have come together to create a fan-made Bloodborne remaster. But those other bits of software remain easily accessible while the 60 FPS patch just got a bit harder to come by. You can probably guess how the increasingly desperate Bloodborne fans community is taking this news. As McDonald's post spread across Blue Sky, Twitter, and Reddit, more and more comments have started to pour in suggesting that the official Bloodborne remaster everyone's been dreaming of is on the way. Other relatively modern From Software titles have been remasters, remakes, and PC ports that have helped keep the games feeling current, but Bloodborne is unique in that Sony itself owns the IP, so PlayStation will have to sign off if it were to ever get a proper remaster. For now, though, it seems Sony's happier taking away an improved version of Bloodborne rather than providing one of its own. Like I said, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that we are, we've been begging for long enough? I think that it's time for them to just drop an official remaster, remake of Bloodborne. Please. Please. Like I said, this is still like I said, this was my intro to From Software games, and I have more hours in this game than I would honestly like to admit. Not because I'm bad at the game. I just really, 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 really enjoy everything like about this. It's just epic. I love it. Please give us the remaster or remake soon, please. And then there's also this article that I saw. It says you can still download the Bloodborne demake. This is another thing that people were up in arms about. It says earlier this month, Sony took down the 60 FPS unofficial patch for Bloodborne, and following that, Sony DMCA'd a video for the Bloodborne PS1 PS1 demake project. Thankfully, though, this fan project is still available for download, at least for now. In actuality, there are two demakes of Bloodborne. The first one reimagines it as a PS1 game, whereas the second one makes it feel like a Zelda game. And at the time of writing, both of them are still available for download. And then it has the links for where you can download them if you're interested. I don't really know why Sony is taking down fan projects for Bloodborne. Right now, there are no hints of any upcoming remasters or remakes, so I don't really know what's going on. Since Sony may take down these two fan games, I highly recommend downloading them while you can, and that's the purpose of this article, to make you aware of them. And actually, for anyone who is interested, I'm also going to be linking this article down below, so if you do want to download these, it'll be accessible for you, so it'll be right down below if you want to get them. Speaking of Bloodborne, I also suggest taking a look at these mods for it. And yes, in case you're wondering, you can use them with Shade PS4. Let's start with the Bloodborne Magnus Opus. It's a project that aims to restore content that was cut from the game. And then we have two cool HD texture packs. Finally, we have Bloodborne Remaster, created by From Soft Serve. This is a must-have mod for those who want to replay Bloodborne. Bloodborne PC Remaster adds dynamic shadows to everything in the game, boosts ambient occlusion, adds point lights, adds parallax occlusion mapping, upgrades numerous textures, and more. Yeah. So the general consensus over on Reddit is, everyone is upset. Everyone is just basically like, look, what is the point of taking these fan-made ones down if you're not gonna release an official remake or remaster? So hopefully, maybe that's what they plan on doing. Maybe they want to officially release a remake, remaster, and hopefully we'll be getting it soon. Maybe we'll hear some news. Who knows? Like I said, this year, 2025 itself has been really big with re-releases, remasters, remakes coming out of games that have been out for a while. So who knows? I feel like there are a lot of older games that if they were giving the proper treatment, the proper remake, remaster vibe, they're still epic games, epic stories, that, just give them a little boost, and they're very much so enjoyable still to this day. So who knows? I'm really big. I love remakes, remasters, all of that. Anything that makes the games run smoother is a win for me. I'm not gonna complain. I like games. So what do you guys think? Are we getting a Bloodborne remake, remaster? Are we getting a Bloodborne PC port? Hopefully, like I said, this year is going to be 10 years of Bloodborne. Do you think we're going to hear some good news, or is this just kind of like them being bougie and it's like, yeah, leave our stuff alone, don't touch it? All right, just let me know. But thank you for hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.